What's up, guys? It's me, Alan. I'm back with another video. And, well, let's go ahead and let's get into these WWE Day 1 pay-per-view predictions. Because, we've got 8 matches here. 7 on the main show, 1 on the pre-show. And we've got a bunch to talk about. So, please make sure to drop a like, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let's jump into this, shall we? So, first of all, first thing I want to address, as you may or may not know, no matches defending the U.S. title, IC title, Intercontinental, or the Smackdown Women's title. The most surprising of the three being the Smackdown Women's title not being defended here. But I think we know why. Toni Storm had been challenging Charlotte Flair for the title. She lost on the SmackDown on Christmas Eve. No, the SmackDown episode on Christmas Eve. And then in subsequent holiday house shows, her, Sasha, and Charlotte would square off in triple threat matches. But the last one that she did, that Toni did, I should say, afterwards she paid her way home, it seems like. And we really haven't heard from her. But WWE's treating it as if she just up and left. And it seems as though she's no longer with the WWE. Now, I, for one, hope that Toni's okay, and I hope we hear from her soon regarding, whatever it is that's going on. But even then, I'm not even sure that we would have seen Toni face Charlotte on this pay-per-view. I think you could have just had that match happen here, but at the same time, nobody would have expected Toni to just up and leave the way she did. So, or maybe people closest to her knew. I have no idea. Excuse me. But that said, Charlotte won't be defending her title here, and we'll have to see what happens on the next SmackDown in terms of who's going to go after her next. I wouldn't mind if Shotzi won that title off of her, just saying. But anyway, the pre-show match. Cesaro and Ricochet versus Ridge-Holland and Sheamus. I don't know which way to go with this. Obviously, Cesaro's in a feud with Holland and Sheamus. Holland is the guy that Sheamus is kind of taking under his wing and is kind of building up. I think he's trying to help get him over. And Ricochet is just getting paired with Cesaro for this match. I think Sheamus and Holland will probably win. I mean, come on. So, but it is nice to see Ricochet getting used. So then we get to the main card. And if I'm being honest, this match should be on the pre-show. Drew McIntyre versus Madcap Moss. Drew, please fucking squash this guy. No offense to Riddick Moss or Madcap Moss, whatever the fuck you want to call him. But this is Drew McIntyre we're talking about. The fact that he is, I understand this is probably a placeholder feud until Drew goes after whoever the Universal Champion is after tonight. But it's just, it could have been done so much better. Look, we all had a good laugh over the last year with Baron Corbin and his broke gimmick. This gimmick of a guy who's lost everything, and he went from being the king of the ring after winning it the second time. I believe he's won it twice. No, he's won Money in the Bank twice, you idiot. He had that, and then he lost it to Shinsuke, and then he basically, he just lost everything else. And then when SummerSlam rolled around, he found some luck, lost it, found some more luck, and then that luck just grew and grew, and then he became the Happy Corbin character that he is now. But the gimmick has lost all of the intrigue and whatnot that he had as the broke character. And I think some people kind of want to see him go back to that because it was more fun seeing him that way than it is seeing him now, because that character had more intrigue. It had more interest, and just the stuff going on with Baron right now, it sucks. I'm sorry, but it sucks. And if Drew loses to Madcap Moss, I'll be pissed. I'm just saying, I'll be pissed. And I think a lot of people will be as well. So, I think Drew should absolutely get the W here, squash or not. Preferably a short match, because honestly, nobody gives a shit about this match. I'm sorry, but nobody does. Now we get to a match that people do care about. Edge versus Miz. This is going to be interesting. And the reason why I say that is because I didn't think Miz would be the first guy to challenge Edge upon coming to Raw, because he was drafted here and took a little bit of time off after that. But I didn't think that, Miz would be the one to challenge him first. But Miz came back from Dancing with the Stars. He brought Maurice back with him. And it's been pretty interesting so far. I'm not exactly sure which way I want to go with this. I think Edge will get the win. Like, I don't know if I want to pick Miz or Edge, but I'm going to go with Edge, only just. I think what will happen, though, is one of two things will happen. One, Beth Phoenix comes... Well, that's the thing. I don't know if Beth Phoenix is coming back, because, like people want to see Edge and Beth against Maurice and Miz, preferably at WrestleMania, and I'd love to see that, too. But, Beth just, I don't want to say retired, but she left the commentary desk for NXT 2.0, and I'm not exactly sure she's ready to come back into the WWE fold at the moment, especially as an in-ring performer. If she wants to, she absolutely can, and I'd love to see that. I can just imagine what a prime Beth Phoenix would do in this current women's division with the talent that they have right now and the matches that could be had. But that said, I think Edge will defeat The Miz here at day one, possibly despite interference from Maurice. I'm not exactly sure there. I think this feud might continue to the Royal Rumble. But after that, I think what people will really want to see is Edge versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania. So I'm hoping that that's what we'll get to see later on. But Edge defeats The Miz here. Then we have the Usos against the New Day for the Smackdown Tag Team titles. I'll be honest, this kind of feels like a late addition of the card. But if you're going to make a late match addition, you might as well put these two teams together. Because you know damn well from their history that these two can put on a hell of a match. The Usos are probably going to retain the titles, though. But, that said, what else do you expect? It's the Usos. Like, come on now. But it's going to be nice to see the Usos and the New Day face off yet again. And I can't wait to see how that goes. Then we have the match for the Raw Tag Team titles, RKBro versus the Street Profits, with RKBro, or I should say the Street Profits having won the RK-Bro tournament to face Orton and Riddle for their titles. I think Orton and Riddle will retain, but I wonder if, when we're going to see the seeds of a breakup planted between the two of them. And at the same time, I wonder how long is Montez going to stay in this tag team with Angelo? Because don't get me wrong, the Street Profits are fucking awesome. But I think there are people that are kind of clamoring for Montez to go and get a singles run. I mean, look back at that match that he had with Roman on SmackDown a couple months ago. That was a banger-ass match. I think that was in the lead-up to Extreme Rules, because the Usos were going to face the Street Profits for the SmackDown titles at that pay-per-view. He had a banger match against Roman. And, and I think Montez could do really well as a singles guy. Granted, I wouldn't mind seeing the Street Profits stay together. If and maybe Bianca joins them, because she is with Montez Ford after all. The only thing that'd make that better is if they were on SmackDown to face the Usos and Naomi. But different story for a different day. Maybe WrestleMania. But I do think that RK-Bro will get the win here. And I'll be interested to see when they actually when WWE actually decides to have them break up. That should be interesting. Next match I want to look at, Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan for the Raw Women's title. Here we go. All right. Y'all know me. Y'all know I'm a big Liv Morgan fan. I want so bad to see Liv Morgan win this title off of Becky. I really would. I really do. Now, there was a bit of concern because Seth Rollins had announced last weekend that he got COVID. So and obviously in the subsequent house show afterward, or from I think the night before, Becky, Big E, Bianca, and Seth had all been pulled, and Seth, announcing COVID was the reason why for him. So I think there was some concern that possibly Becky Lynch might not be able to compete because, possible exposure. Well, we never heard anything about that. Seth was the only one to say anything regarding his diagnosis. And so there's that. By all accounts, it looks like Becky versus Liv is a go for this pay-per-view. We'll get to Seth in a little bit. I think the obvious answer here is that Becky Lynch will probably retain. And what's probably going to happen is Becky defeats Liv. Liv tries to challenge her on Raw the next, on Monday. But Becky's like, you had your chance. You blew it twice. Back of the line. This would be the perfect opportunity to have Bianca go after Becky, as revenge for what happened back at SummerSlam, potentially. While Liv fights to get another shot, Royal Rumble. But at the same time, I absolutely would not mind seeing Liv win this match, especially if afterward a certain someone, Alexa Bliss, returns. That would be interesting, to say the least. And then you could have Becky and Bianca go at it. Yeah, it would be a non-title feud, and yeah, that'd be kind of sleazy because, again, Becky came back, squashed Bianca for her title, which should not have happened. I've made that rant already. But the title feud could come later on. Let Liv Morgan have her shot. It's just my biggest fear is how long is WWE going to go along with this, because the fans do love her. Don't get me wrong. The fans love Liv Morgan, but it's against Becky Lynch, and it's just, there's that little bit of worry in me that this feud will get dropped if Liv loses tonight, and I don't know what will happen with Liv afterward. I'm hoping that's not the case, but my official prediction, I hope WWE proves me wrong and lets Liv win, but I think Becky is going to retain tonight. And I guess we'll just see what happens. Whatever happens, happens. Next, we get to the Fatal 4-Way match for the WWE title. Big E, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley. Kevin Owens is going to win this match. He's going to win the title. The dude just re-signed with the WWE. And honestly, I love the fact that Big E is the title holder currently. But to some people, his reign has felt a little bit underwhelming. And that's no fault of his own. That's just based on booking. But look, Kevin Owens just re-signed. We haven't seen him win the title in a long time. We haven't seen him hold the title in a long time. I think it would be nice to see Kevin Owens get the win here and get that title. And that's what I think will happen. And then the big one, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal title. And there's a lot going into this. Roman fired Paul Heyman. Roman's 2 weeks away from becoming the longest reigning Universal Champion. We don't know how, if Brock Lesnar will stay all that long, if I'm being honest. But it's just the fact that Paul Heyman got fired by Roman, and it might be a swerve. It might be. But I just feel like if Lesnar's in a bad way, Heyman will come out and he will support Brock and help Brock. I think that might happen. If we don't see Paul Heyman show up at any time in this match, then Roman's retaining. Absolutely. There might even be a chance that Roman retains despite Heyman showing up. But Heyman could be the distraction to Roman that Brock needs to win that Universal title off of him. And that could be quite interesting. And that's what I'm going with. I think with some Paul Heyman interference, Brock Lesnar defeats Roman Reigns for the Universal title. And it's going to look real weird seeing Roman without the title over his shoulder. But those are my predictions. I'll have them listed down in the description below. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.